we're going to be getting very close on this current move higher. We're going to be getting very close to that 64,000, possibly even breaking above it. And I'm shifting more towards a primary count, which suggests we'll get a little bit of a dip lower soon, probably come up, test that high, find a bit of a reaction, and then accelerate higher out of that up towards the six-figure amount. That will get a little bit of a dip lower, and then we'll come back up here near this high. We could even break that high a little bit, and then work ourselves back down towards this low. So I'm shifting things now and saying, okay, we have a 1-2. This move higher into the April high was a wave 1 of smaller degree, and this dip lower over the summer of 2021 is a smaller degree wave 2, and that now we are getting ready to unleash the hound to the upside as we go into a wave 3 of 3. So this thing would really take off to the upside, and we would see much higher pricing coming into play. Six figures above 100,000 would be a an easy target. Hi everybody, welcome here to See the Waves, and today we're going to take a look at the Elliott Wave analysis for Bitcoin. Now it's been about 5 or 6 weeks since we have gone out and taken a look at Bitcoin. So our last review was completed in late August, and at that time, about where this arrow is, we said that we were going to be looking for retracement back to 35 to 36K here fairly soon. So it was about a week or two later, we did get that dip lower. That dip lower came down to 39,000 and change. And because it was on the lighter end of the retracement lower, that has caused me to shift the Elliott Wave count a little bit, such that a move towards the all-time high, 64,000, we're going to be getting very close on this current move higher. We're going to be getting very close to that 64,000, possibly even breaking above it. So the two macro counts that we're looking at from an Elliott Wave perspective, one of them is that we'll get a little bit of a dip lower, and then we'll come back up here near this high. We could even break that high a little bit, and then work ourselves back down towards this low. So that's one possibility. That's actually the alternate that I'm looking at, and I'm shifting more towards a primary count, which suggests we'll get a little bit of a dip lower soon, probably come up, test that high, find a bit of a reaction, and then accelerate higher out of that up towards the six-figure amount. So from a macro perspective, here are the two main counts that we're looking at. Well, let me start off here with the bullish count first, and let's get things set up. So from a bullish perspective, this is a shift from what you'll find on my previous video from late August 2021. So during that video, I had mentioned this was looking as a 1-2. This top in April was wave 3, and that we were going through a wave 4 now. Perhaps that wave 4 ended, and that once that wave 4 ends, we would be accelerating higher in a wave 5. So I'm shifting things now and saying, okay, we have a 1-2. This move higher into the April high was a wave 1 of smaller degree, and this dip lower over the summer of 2021 is a smaller degree wave 2, and that now we are getting ready to unleash the hound to the upside as we go into a wave 3 of 3. So this thing would really take off to the upside, and we would see much higher pricing coming into play. Six figures above 100,000 would be a an easy target under this scenario, and some of these targets are so ridiculous that I almost feel ashamed talking about them. But yes, this would be an extremely bullish count, and this is the one that I'm leaning towards now because of that dip that we saw in September was a little bit more on the shallow side. It has me thinking that, okay, maybe we are going to really take off high and hard to the upside. And this also matches up with one of the accounts that I'd put together for Ethereum as well. So unloading in a wave 3 of 3 higher, so this intermediate wave 3 would need to subdivide within 5 waves. We've completed the first of those 5 waves now, the first and the second of those 5 waves. Now we're in the third of this intermediate wave 3 higher. That would probably take us up into, well, we'll cover that here in just a second, where that might go. Let me get that off of the chart. Let's scroll down to a smaller time frame. Okay, so what we're looking at, or what I'm looking at here, from the low. So the correction ended in June. And according to this wave count, that smaller degree wave 2 would have ended in June. And then we have an impulsive wave off of that June low up into the high on September the 6th. And this is how that impulsive wave would subdivide. 1, 2, and then we got another impulsive wave here within wave 3. Now in the previous Bitcoin video, I mentioned how this was going to be an extended wave 1. And so I've left that as an extended wave 1 and readjusted the rest of that impulse wave, coming into a triangle wave 4. Triangles are very commonly found within the 4th position of an impulse wave, and then we've got to move higher to finish it in wave 5. And then from that wave 5, we're getting a very nice 3-wave corrective move lower. This 3-wave corrective move lower also subdivides in equal wave fashion to where, let me change this here. There we go. Change it over to a log scale. And then what you can see here is we've got I'm sorry for the delays here. I'm using a different screen recording software, and so a few of my windows are in different places than what I'm used to. But nonetheless, within this ABC zigzag lower, we can see that wave C is equal to the length of wave A, right at that 39,000. We came down, tagged it perfectly, and then we've started to rally higher in what looks to be an impulsive wave. This impulsive wave, in my opinion, is not over. Now there's another alternate to this count, which suggests that this is a larger wave A or wave W, and that this rally is wave B or wave X, and then that would lead to another move lower that would retest this 39,000 low. And if that were the case, then this would be rolling over here pretty soon, and it would start working itself lower. But we're still going to be down into the low to mid 30s. All it's going to do is offer up another buying opportunity down here just below this low. So from a longer term perspective, it does not alter the longer term look, which is, according to this wave count, we could be looking at much higher pricing coming into play. Also within this minor wave 2 lower, we've got a real nice trend channel that has also held the pricing in place. Real nice impulsive wave within the C leg. So everything is checking out from a minor wave 1 higher to minor wave 2 lower. I'm confident that this is a 1-2 punch. Could also be an A-B punch, where you've got wave A higher, wave B lower, and then we're moving into wave C higher of a zigzag. And that's why I say this could lead up towards that 64,000 or slightly above. Could still be a corrective wave. So let's check that out right now. If you like what you see here, go ahead and press the subscribe button, hit the like button. That way you'll be alerted when new videos are produced. Okay, so one of the alternate counts is that we're looking at this as being A of a zigzag, and this is B of a zigzag, and that we're working higher in wave C of a zigzag. And if that's the case, then we can apply our Fibonacci extension tool to this move, and we could see where the wave relationships take place. And so you get an equal wave relationship coming up here near this 64,000. And so this is what could help keep that triangle pattern alive to where we come up here near this all-time high. We could even break it a little bit, and then it could reverse lower back down into the low 30s. So we're not out of the woods yet as far as bearish counts being at play. But what I will say is that this wave count that we're looking at right here, this wave count suggests that we are highly likely going to come up here and pay a visit towards this all-time high, 64,000, probably get a little bit of a retracement lower, and then we'll see what happens from there. That's where the various wave patterns diverge. So I would consider it to be higher probability that we're moving higher. So within this move, let me dial down into a 2-hour chart so we can get a better look at it. Within the move off of this low, so I made a tweet last week about this triple quadruple bottom and how each subsequent high was getting lower, and that could open the door for a breakdown into new lows. Obviously that tweet was wrong. We have ended up breaking higher from there. So this has me looking at this as a smaller degree wave 1, smaller degree wave 2, and that we've unloaded up here into a smaller degree wave 3. I'm feeling fairly comfortable that this smaller degree wave 3 has ended up here at this high from yesterday. And the reason being is I've got a 2618 wave relationship between wave 3 and wave 1. Now that's on an arithmetic scale, and that is a common wave relationship in an extended third wave. So within this extended third wave, 2618, so this would suggest we'll probably get a retracement back down here, maybe into the 50,000 range in a wave 4, and that could take a variety of shapes to get down into that 50,000. Don't be surprised to see if we see 50,000, and then from there we would rally higher in a wave 5 that would take us up near that 64,000. So this would be your wave 4, and then you got your wave 5 up there. So this current move to the upside, although we may see a correction taking place over the next couple of days, this move to the upside does appear incomplete, as we've only completed wave 3 of the 5. The correction lower would be wave 4, and then the continued rally higher would be wave 5. Now this is where the various Elliott wave patterns diverge, because at this point, once we complete this this wave 5, and let me just throw some additional projections out here. So a lot of times, and I'm just going to assume we come down here to this 50,000 mark, a lot of times wave 5 is going to be 38 or 61% the length of waves 1 through 3. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. And so if I put my 618 up here, so this wave 5 may carry up into the 56,000, maybe even up to 60,000. And this wave 5 could be a larger degree wave 1, or it could be a larger, it could be the end of that wave C of that zigzag that we were talking about. So it's up near that 60,000 where these wave patterns are going to diverge. But for now, I feel fairly confident that this is, we're going to see a little bit of a dip and then a move up to that 60,000 range. Let me go over the triangle count real quick. As I mentioned before, the primary count that I'm looking at is that we are unloading in a wave 3 of 3 higher, and that this is just going to be a relentless move to the upside. And on this relentless move to the upside, look for prices to hold up above that 39,000, and probably not going to see 40,000 again. if this is unloading in a wave 3 of 3 to the upside. So that's the good news. We've got a pretty good risk to reward ratio from near these current levels. But the other count that I'm looking at is, and let me just get rid of a few of these things. The other count that I'm looking at is that triangle pattern. And if we come out here and take a look on a weekly chart, so what the triangle pattern suggests is that we may be going through a wave 4 triangle. This wave 4 triangle would grind out for several more weeks and carry us on out through the end of the calendar year. And that's because wave 2 took about 37 weeks to complete. So that same time period of about 37, 38 weeks is going to be in the first part of January. And because a triangle is a sideways correction, it's possible that that triangle would drag out even further into later January, maybe even to February. So this would be a very frustrating continued sideways range within an Elliott Wave perspective, and it would make sense. We had a very large and long move to the upside that would need a lot of time to consolidate and shake people out, get people to forget about Bitcoin, and then boom, it starts taking off to the upside in a wave 5. So under this count, we've got, let me zoom in here on a daily. So on this count, wave A would have ended down here at that June 22nd low, and that we would be rallying higher in a wave B. And as I mentioned a moment ago, this wave B would carry up close to that all-time high. This wave B could even protrude above the all-time high. But the point being is that this was going to start to get people excited again about Bitcoin. And then boom, we get another correction that takes us back down into the low to mid 30s. And then from there, we would get another rally in wave D, and then another soft correction in wave E. This would drag out at least through the end of 2021 and into the early parts of 2022. If this is the case, then you're going to be looking at additional buying opportunities down here in this section. You're going to be looking at prices coming back and retracing back down into the mid to low 30s. So you're going to be looking at a very good buying opportunity down here in this box on 2 more occasions. So there's no need of FOMOing this trade, fear missing out to the upside. Now the opposite of this is the extended wave 3 of 3, of which I started this video off with. That would be a relentless move and trend to the upside, much like what we've seen in the past times within Bitcoin. So that one would be a move that breaks up above the 65,000, enters into the 70,000 territory, 80,000, and it just keeps trucking on up into the 100,000 range. So bottom line, what I'm looking at here for Bitcoin is of these 2 counts, the triangle count on the one hand and the wave 3 of 3 on the other hand, I am leaning towards Bitcoin being a wave 3 of 3 to the upside, which suggests that we're going to be looking at whoops, that wasn't it. That we'll be looking at much higher prices to come up into the 6 figures above 100,000 here in the very near future. So that's all the time that I've got for today. Feel free to leave some comments below. If you like what you see here, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. Best of luck in your trading. Bye now.